All right, welcome back to the Watch Along and Gang. Today we have me, Andrew, and Sean and Lynn joining us.
It's pretty interesting. We introduced you to the first one, which was good, and now we introduced you to this one, which is not.
This was the only way I would agree to watch this movie again, was this if I was submitting you
With
to
a
it as
support
well.
group.
All right, let's watch it. These are like PowerPoint effects now.
I think they were
It's
the
the
end.
90s. We put a glow effect on everything. You could see every hair on her upper lip.
Yeah, you can't.
First
Oh no, you
scare
came
of the
from out of
night.
frame. How was I going to see you?
I like when you scare someone so bad they stop peeing.
Was he peeing just across, like the entrance is there and he was
Just
peeing
in
right next
front
to the
of
door?
everyone.
This is like your
They
high
usually
school,
know all
though,
the
right?
gossip and bitching
Sean,
about
this is
everyone.
like the time you
Why
were
is
in
she
high school, this era.
Yeah.
This era. You're
100
not
years
that
ago.
much older than me, but like,
This is what every girl in my high school looked like.
they all look like they're 30 and
Yeah, and wore opera gloves.
This guy's 40. He's got a receding hairline.
that's what you want to see. I wish they had
Because of all my
making-ofs.
testosterone.
I wish they had
testosterone. That's what that means.
making ups for movies like this, because I want to see them have a take of that was perfect, guys. Let's move. Like,
Yeah.
all right.
The legit audio commentary that goes on top of this in the DVD.
I mean, we got this one in one, if you can believe it.
Yeah, it's like Touch of Evil. It's like all one shot. Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh my lord.
You're so ugly. You never had a date in your
You
life.
have
But you're making out
glasses
the
and don't
backseat.
comb your hair.
Yeah, look how hideous she is. Those glasses are so hideous.
It's so stupid. Look at him. He's got such an idiot face. Fuck you, you're ugly.
I'm sure this teen drama is all going to matter throughout the movie. I'm sure this dynamic is going to be very important.
Yeah, we're kind of missing it. When it pays off later, we're going to be sorry.
I guess we have to follow these signs. That's like another thing.
Seems legit. Yeah.
It's like Michael Scott driving into the lake. He's like, it told me to do.
I'm not staying here.
I like that guy. I'll go. You all three stay here. Been looking for a reason to eject from this conversation.
You don't really see bad acting anymore like this. I mean, I guess you'd have to watch some kind of YouTube shorts and stuff, you know. But not in like major, or not, you know,
Yeah,
mainstream
this is
kind of.
vintage shit. I like these movie douchebags always have a perpetually confused and angry face.
Following me. I can feel their eyes. Oh my god.
I like how it's supposed to be so super dark that he can't see that, and it's so well lit.
Yeah, that's just like TV show. It's
They're like
always
standing under a street light.
Is that roadkill on a road? Ah,
one shot.
There went the effects budget.
God.
How like these shots are like, we don't have any sort of we didn't get enough shots here. Just cut to the moon, cut back to this. Like,
Exactly.
It's a great transition.
No safeties.
This McConaughey?
I think so.
she's going to do that through the whole movie.
Yeah,
This
is this
McConaughey?
Is that one
Are we there
McConaughey?
yet?
Yeah, there he is.
All right.
Reckon.
Reckon. It's like,
Come on, Ralph.
We've pre-wrecked it for you, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot he had a robot
His
leg.
mechanical leg.
He's got a robot leg.
This movie's so
got a
damn
robot leg.
dumb.
He's like Winter Soldier, but like
Yeah, exactly.
No,
like
just
a
run
music-
straight down the
it's like
road.
a
He can never
music
get
video
here.
here or something. Serpentine.
Like,
But you're not
Yeah,
supposed to
jump
come
on the
back
road.
at it.
Go into the trees.
nope, there it goes.
I think you're only supposed to dart back the
Get
other
it?
way when it chases you.
Well, you're not supposed to serpentine within
Across
the straight path.
Yeah.
You're
That's what I mean. You go to the left until they follow you to the left, then you cut back right in.
Yeah, you're really just making it harder on yourself.
Moon. We don't have a transition moonshot.
It's true, because nothing moves.
That's the establishing. He's like, well, they're all
God.
outside. Every established shot can be the moon. It's like,
Jenny's the dog.
Their fog machine couldn't reach this far. Only could reach the back corner.
yeah. Whenever I watch these things like this, it's like you're just thinking about who wrote this. Like, this will be classic. The flashlight's going to go out.
I feel like
This is gonna
whoever
be-
wrote this, they were like, "Fuck it."
No,
What's
I
on her
like how
face?
That's the
Is she
bump where she
supposed to be
hit
hurt?
the. Yeah, she hit the windscreen.
So they just
There's
marked
a
her
big-
with
You not see the
Sharpie.
big crack on the windscreen, and it's like
Yeah.
in between her eyes.
Was that where they marked her? Where they were going to put the effect?
I have an idea. Why don't I go check?
Why not overact the shit out of this scene for no reason? Now climb the
Who would do
fence.
this? It's like,
Nobody.
He's climbing.
Especially when
Oh
it
no,
looks
he's
like
climbing
that.
the boards in the window.
Especially when
Yeah.
it looks like that inside, I'd be like, nope.
Yeah,
How
there's
is
no
this house in
homeless.
sepia tone?
Or is this a movie like it's like in Walking Dead where zombies don't exist in that world? It's like this is like horror movies have never existed. Like weird.
Yeah.
Murders don't exist in this world.
No
so-
one has ever been murdered yet in the history of this world. The characterization of Leatherface is really interesting from one movie to the next too.
It's
Like in the weird infantilization of him.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is effective and it's a chaos because this is just like pure nightmare material here.
Yeah,
it
when
feels
she
like
gets
a
away and then
nightmare.
grabs her gun and
Yeah, it's just chaos. It feels like a nightmare.
Well, again, look how they're trying to be like the first movie. All
Right.
of these setups, they don't work as well, but all of the setups in these scenes are trying to be
well,
exactly
this is
like the first
the one that's 20 years later, right? 15 years later, at least. This
Yeah,
like
it's
a reboot.
20 years later. This is 96.
This is a reboot. This is where they go. We can copy it because it's 20 years later.
Yeah, so we call it Next Generation.
wait, no, I shut the
fuck,
lid.
God. Don't cheat. Yeah. She's like, I could just
shut the
push that
lid.
open.
No, but
But I shut it. This is like an object permanence thing with him. He's like,
Yeah, where he is really just an infant.
That's it. Okay.
I need to use your bathroom
an
anyway. I
asshole.
like that. Like,
Dumbass.
yeah.
it's gonna be number 2, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, another hook shot.
Hook shot. It's like Dr. J with all these hook shots.
Nice. This dress is a rental.
he's just chuffed to be there.
Gotta give a guy
He's having fun. Like, that's what I like about McConaughey.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid for this shit.
You figured it.
You don't know what the hell you're doing.
It's like you never been murdered before.
He doesn't care about his own property. He's like, I'm gonna bash all the doors down.
I know, they're like, we're always having to fix
Oh,
the
gosh.
damn door. Through the
There
window.
we go.
Nice.
You can see that she didn't get out the first take.
I'm probably safe now.
Yeah.
It's probably a dream.
He must have just disappeared. We're in a new scene right now, so
This is again the same scene, except it's a cow prod instead of just a broom.
this guy's like a bad Matthew Fox ripoff. Like, so he looks like
Yeah, it does look like the bargain basement version of
Yeah.
Uncle Rico.
oh yeah, he does look like that too. This is great. I like this part.
Don't hit me!
This is my favorite part.
Oh,
See what I'm talking about? Everybody's just pissed at everybody. That's what people do when there's like bad
just
writing. So
the pointing. No one gives a damn about that door. Oh, I'm gonna get you with my electric leg.
is he electrocuting with a leg?
No, he's just stomping her, but he's got a remote control for the leg.
What is the deal with his leg?
Why is he dressed like a Ghostbuster?
Drive over him. Drive over him.
That is a meme.
What?
When somebody that little snippet, like, the way that looked.
Moon.
Moon.
Moon, lips.
And if you're thinking the movie can't get weirder, like we got something.
That's in the first movie, too.
Yeah, but it's
She starts
again,
screaming
like,
and they start
you guys
screaming.
probably shouldn't go back to the first movie so much
Aw.
because you're just
That's
showing
it.
yourselves out. It's like Halloween 6 where they're all like a cult of some weird rune. Like, yes, I've been bankrolling hillbilly cannibal clans all across Texas.
Yeah.
I think this guy's literally the producer of the movie. It's like, what have you guys been doing with all our money?
It's past the 5-second rule, and I'm going to put this back on the plate. That's the true
And some
meaning of
stiff
horror.
looking pizza. Okay.
Can you imagine
run
being in the
away.
movie theater with a date
Yeah.
at this point? It's like,
Oh, we'll just go see a
thought
horror
I'd just-
movie. It'd be fine.
Yeah, I thought there'd be a couple scary parts, and you'd hold my hand.
yeah. I won the argument at the beginning of the night, but I
You're
lost it by the
you
end.
like try to do. She's like, get the fuck off me. The fuck is this? Yeah, nah, you ain't getting laid after this movie.
No. I think the cleavage is what makes it the weirdest.
Yeah.
You really must accept my sincere apologies.
I remember we were talking about this after we saw it. Like, this is maybe the only movie I've ever seen that had an in-story apology to the audience at the end.
Suppose it's something we all
Yeah, if you say he's the producer and it's a meta thing, then yeah.
It is. He's just like, I thought this was going to be scary, but it's garbage.
That's when you do Footloose at the end and just do
I would love. Now I gotta put loose. That actually would be worth it.
At least it was under 90 minutes. That was pretty good.
That's the first early reactions are. At least it was
Yeah.
less than 90 minutes.
First thing,
It
it's
was
like,
easier to watch the second time because I knew what was coming. But like the first time going through, what was your impression?
Oh.
it was good. I think I don't think if without
good.
McConaughey or these people would have kind of. This is a weird experience too, though, because we watched that first one, but like that too. But doing it with you guys is way better than having to do this stuff like slog through some of these by myself.
Well, think about this came out the same year as Scream.
That's what I mean. That's what I was saying, and that's like
It's
a
ridiculous. To
you
think
know
about.
on a meta level that's pretty precise and technical. You know, like yeah, it's interesting. They're about the same level. I mean, they're not as involved as the.
Nice.
I think the second one I got. This one was I don't know. It was so short that it didn't matter. I didn't get as lost as I did like in the second one. Once I get to that theme park, I'm like, what is happening here? Like, this one at least.
It's Gonzo, though. I mean,
Right.
it's not. The second one's not good, but at least you can appreciate what they were doing with it. Sort
They
of.
all kind of fall apart at the end because they just turn all into like let's just improv insanity and then.
Chase and then the fight on the table, and we've got the chainsaw. Chainsaw.
So it's like we
brr.
capture them and then we just kind of freak them out while they're tied up for a while and then.
Well, the
That's-
third one, if you remember, what's weird, like
What was
these
the
things
third
become
one?
tropes. In the third one, that was where Vigo was one of the hillbillies in
Oh,
part
Vigo.
3.
Oh yeah.
And then there was
I
a
don't
guy with
remember
like a
that.
robot hand or something. Like for some reason, one of them's always got a weird prosthetic.
It's just
that
like
became a
because there's
trope
so
they've
little to go
repeated.
on, like plot wise and stuff. They know that they need Leatherface and hillbillies, and then do whatever the hell you want.
And then from
Like
there,
it's such
yeah,
an open
run with it.
thing. Whereas so many of the other franchises, you've got so many particular things you need to put into them. This one, Leatherface.
Yeah,
This
so
one,
what-
every one of these just repeats formula with some variation.
yeah, I remember the third one. It had like way more family in it. That one, like
Yeah, they had like kids,
stuff,
and there was
yeah.
a mom.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, it wasn't good either.
I think this is as far as watchability, this one's like second. I think
Oh my god.
maybe.
They
I don't
must
know.
not
I've
be
only seen
watchable
4
at
of these
all.
things now. The third one was not very good.
Still.
Yeah.
Still.
The second one just felt like it was really long. It was probably like 40 minutes, and I'm like, man, this one's
Just like got that guy eating his own head in the radio station.
yeah. It's like
I
the
don't know. I
first one
found
was
this one
fun.
probably the hardest for me because it was so. Because you don't really know where it's going. Like on the first watch, you're just like, "What is happening? What is happening? And who are these people?" And it's just really hard because you're like, yeah, "Is this just going to keep going on like this? Are we going to get to a real movie at some point?" And it keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Yeah. So
yeah, it makes you kind of like you're not. I mean, when even in bad movies, when it's like the acting is just so. It's not like you're looking for like Schindler's List or something, but it's like we're trying to like. It's like when they don't have. It feels like you're going crazy when you watch some of these. It's like, am I going nuts watching this? Like, because there's no motive. Like, it's a very abstract filmmaking. You know what I mean? It feels very like avant-garde because nobody has any motivations and they're saying random lines with no emotion.
yeah, they
or
just threw
anything.
shit at the wall and see what's stuck.
Yeah.
I'll give him on this one. Having McConaughey did help because he is like the movie stops dead.
I think he
most
does
of the
it.
time, but he never stops moving. He is kinetic in everything he does, and it's so weird and
But
dynamic.
what he's
to
doing
see
is, like,
him doing
yeah.
nothing.
Like, he's
But
the only
it
one.
spends like 10, 20 minutes just in that kitchen with him going crazy. And
In a
nothing
tiny,
happening except him going
tiny
crazy.
kitchen, like
Yeah.
at least
And
find a space you can film
That's
in.
where it lost me. Like you needed to get more dynamic with what was going on with that. He just trapped her in the kitchen and then crazy. It needed to be going
Right.
somewhere or doing something more than that.
That has to be where there's no script, and they're
Well,
just
and these are-
making
yeah, I
gonzo
mean,
shit.
Yeah, it's like weird.
Like an hour.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, if this is a real like, I mean, honestly, if this is a real
This
movie,
is a
but
real
if this like a, but I mean, you could like imagine
It's a
scenarios.
pedestrian effort.
Like if they said, "Hey, write one of these and make it actual like suspenseful," you would have like, well, they're tied up and then they're trying to get out for a little bit, but then they get caught. Like there's like a lot of leading the suspense. They just like every one of these is like grab them, put them in the chair right here. We're just gonna do weird shit for you for a while.
It's only ever like one proper survivor. Like everyone else gets killed straight up, and then it's just watching this one girl run around.
And there's
like,
no hope of them escaping or any. It's just like this is just gonna be weird for 30 minutes. Yeah, it just feels like very dreamlike, and I don't think it's bad. It's just that's what they are. It's just like okay, like imagine. Like even in a way that the storytelling is interesting because they also remember it's like they don't cut away either. There's always continuous minutes. We don't ever go jump forward in time. Like imagine her getting caught, getting knocked out, and then it just goes to black. But they even show him carrying the car, going back. Like it's not even from her perspective. Like imagine her like getting caught, then you wake up and it's that scene with all the corpses around. Like this is weird. Where are we not? Like
well, that's what
That's
why the first one was better because you did just kind of wake up and there was corpses.
Right, yeah.
Like,
this one like shows her dragging her in here, put her right there. It's like they just shot everything. It's like we have to fill out.
Just argue about pizza for a while.
Yeah, that didn't. Yeah.
And the lady character was really interesting in the bit where she was sort of carrying the movie when she was getting her back, but then she just devolves into a screaming mess, and we're like, is she?
Well, she was interesting and quirky. And then when she gets back to there, she's just like she turns into that other girl, that annoying girlfriend type character. Where she's just like annoying, like they're just nagging him. I was like,
they might have better if they had just dropped her off.
Yeah,
it's a filmmaking
all right,
class,
enjoy your meat and gone.
Because like in the first movie, when they kind of have her tied to a chair and they're all just arguing about cooking dinner and stuff, it's like fascinating. It's the most interesting part because it's somehow scarier that they've stopped worrying about her to argue about just normal family bullshit stuff.
Well, that's kind of this.
But when they try to do it in this one, it doesn't work at all.
Right.
Like it's such a humbling sort of lesson. Like you can't just try it because you tried to mimic what they did in that movie, beat for beat, and beat for beat, you failed. Everything that worked in that movie didn't work in this one.
Sean's quote from this movie: "You failed."
Well, that's why I think this is like a movie that, I mean, he wouldn't fit. I mean, I don't think he'd fit Star Trek like he wants, but Tarantino doing this type of movie would be perfect. You know what I mean? Like having, because I think it should be about dialogue.
Those character moments would be really interesting.
Yeah.
He's good at crazy people arguing about nothing.
Right. And that's what this is. That's basically all this is. Like, that's what it should. But the dialogue should be so weird that it's crazy. These are like, you're trying to understand what's her problem. Like, it wasn't, there's no tension because she's like, in this one, Renee Zellweger's like again, picking up the gun. Like, I guess I could just get out of here or not. Or there's like, it really is weird because it's like.
I feel like they kept the friend alive till the end so that she wouldn't just run away. But then she does run away sometimes. Like, there's sometimes where she's got the gun and you think, just run. And she's like, no, I got to get my friend. And you're like, oh, is that the plot device that they're using to keep her in the room right now?
And you never really get the sense that that's a motivation. Yeah, like it's never played because she's as helpless in reference to that friend as she is to herself. So there's no, if you could have played it that way, but it doesn't play that way.
I felt like they tried to play it that way a couple of times when she should have been leaving and then she didn't. And then they sort of just ignored it again, like 5 minutes later. So
like the only moment, because that's like, to me, like, again, it's like, it's not necessary to go to film school class at this movie because it's just what it is. But it's like the one moment because the suspense would come from them like actually having some kind of hope and then like taking it away and like, you know, playing with that. She doesn't seem cared that she's there. She's just a little upset. She's like, "What's gonna happen now?" So she keeps asking him. And then at the end,
then he gets mad at her and just sets her friend on fire, and that's it. Anyways, there's no real tension there. She's like, "No, don't!" That's it.
Well, look, she had this one moment where you thought, this is how it's going to go. Like, she starts going, I'm going to leave. And you sit down and you're like, oh, she just going to, like, give into the crazy and become even more crazy. And that would have worked if she had just left by just telling them off and walking out. That would have worked there.
Right. And then the moment at the end where it's like, hey, there's old people. Before you're like, I don't know, who are these old people? What's this plane? And then immediately she's there. She didn't try to help them. No scene of that.
They just walked away. No one checked on them.
What happens when you drink and drive?
There's no scene, like, even that moment is like the moment it's like, oh, you're hopeful, but that doesn't even play like, it plays like chaos too, because they're like, hold on, is she getting away? And then like, boom, nope, never mind. So, whoa, what?
But again, that's the same beat from the first movie, because in the first movie, the trucker tries to help her and then gets chased around by Leatherface.
Yeah, but it's
she jumps into another truck and fucks off. And we don't know what happened to that guy.
In the first movie, because you've got a highway, you can see where she's going. Like, you can see the cars getting away. Whereas in this one, they've got a field.
They're just like on their land.
And they're just going around the field.
They don't know where they're headed.
Like, within a minute and a half, like, a plane comes out, like a crop duster runs him over
From
for some
nowhere,
reason.
just comes and kills
Then a
that guy.
camper
Like,
picks her up, and then
plane
a
X
limo
machina.
pulls up to let her know the movie's over.
Where
But
did
who's
the plane
that
come
airplane
from? Why
guy?
did they kill him? What was going on with that?
Don't
Was
know.
he just some
I
random who was flying past?
I
Like, that girl
assume
looks
he
like
worked-
she's in trouble.
For the Illuminati, they were trying to suggest like that the guy, Mr. Big, in the
So
limo
his character, let
somehow-
me get this straight. He pulled up to the house, walks in, he sees this like they're like torturing these people. Then he immediately gets pissed at Matthew McConaughey saying, "You're supposed to show them true meaning of horror. You're not doing that." So then he licks their face and leaves.
And shows his weird.
Yeah, he has
Yeah,
weird,
where he
like,
has he shows
he
his
has like
pierced belly
Sumerian etchings on his stomach. Then he leaves, just leaves, and then is driving by, picks her up, and says, "I'm sorry. I wish this was scarier." The movie
Yeah,
ends.
this wasn't good. He's like,
What
I'm
is
real
it?
sorry, this wasn't a good movie at all. This was supposed to be a horror movie and ended up being just weird.
And they never address him as the boss, though, or anything. He's just, you assume that because he's wearing a suit and he's like,
Well, and because Delmar
Well, they
seems
actually-
to give
that-
weight to what he's saying.
right. But
Yeah,
I'm just
the
saying, it's
dynamic
like,
with him and McConaughey works actually really well as that scene, seeing them bounce off each other as actors. You can see what the dynamic is.
I know, I'm just trying to place it. Everything's so
is.
out of context. And it's like,
No,
Well, it's
It's like,
Illuminati.
did I-
It was on his truck.
yeah,
that's
true.
where it reminds me of
That's what the
Halloween,
internet
where they
was
just have like the thorn tattoo, like
Right.
that's it's some kind of weird group or something.
But he's a big deal in this, though. It's not just, he's like saves her in the end. So it's like, so why would he even say, again, this isn't quite this big of analysis, but his motivation would be, but he takes her to the hospital. Like if
That's
he was
just
like a
like a
master of
script
horror,
bunch of-
wouldn't put her in some
They
sort
thought
of
that
new,
was the part. Like this is the extra layer.
He's like,
this
she's-
is what's
she's
going to blow
fine.
their minds.
this is a
this little
precursor to
bunch
Cabin
of
in the
it.
Woods, basically.
I
that's
felt
what
more
we're
like
saying.
he didn't
Yeah.
say that. He was just like, well, she got away fair and square. I might as well take her to the hospital.
Yeah, it's
It's
like,
only
fair enough.
decent.
It's like we tried to terrorize you. So it's like it's my
Yeah.
fault.
What I licked her face. What other cards do I have to play?
It's like that's like a scene from a comedy parody of this. It's almost there. You know what I mean? And it's just like what?
Well, this is like the South Park thing, where it's like I think we could just reshoot this movie, scene by scene, without
And it'd be
changing
funny,
a word, and it'd be a comedy.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'd be anything without McConaughey in it.
Yeah, it's just
No.
it is dream logic. Again, just because the first one had, I mean, by accident or whatever, like having the meat shop is a really creepy idea. It's meat because you're like, what is this meat? This is people. This is all this stuff. This is really.
Mm-hmm.
It just implies that, and they're stuck in that place, and then it's just a lot of tension. And she's a realtor in the middle of the woods, like.
Well, and
like-
there's so much
But are they in the
natural
middle of the woods?
grotesqueness in the first movie. Like most when they see the cattle and they talk about
gross,
the
yeah,
cattle
like-
industry and they go into the barbecue and they see it. None of that has to be human meat or anything. It's all
Yeah,
just
it's
gross,
just
and
gross.
dirty
It's
and
scary.
nasty.
We never
But-
saw the people in the convenience store either that threw the rock in there, right? There's supposedly people over there.
No, it doesn't make any
That
sense.
she
It was
flashes?
a thing that didn't land at all. Like what?
Somebody
She
got
said
cut. in
farmers
this
were
movie.
mad.
Pull out the plastic titties.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, how else were we
Those
supposed to
things
write
didn't
that
move
in
at
there?
all.
Oh, did they say like she's selling out their farmland or something? Is that what it was?
Something. She gave a reason. We weren't paying
Talking.
attention. but
So yeah, it's really important though.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
they go
it
over
doesn't-
in the novels. They go over
No wonder
that.
the movie doesn't make sense.
It's like-
It's all-
in the EU.
It ties to one of the sub stories in the novels.
Yeah, in one of the spin-off TV shows.
Yeah, they go into that. It's like a comment on like Manifest Destiny and stuff. Like it's pretty good.
Pretty deep stuff.
But that was good. This is gonna spoil me. We have to watch all these horror movies like this because it makes it way better. The ones that are like this that aren't like.
It is better to have to watch. Like, I'm trying to think with the other ones because we do have to discuss the other ones, but they're not.
As
We should
fun.
probably watch that one that was in 3D. That one's actually pretty fun. That might be a fun watch along. The one where they came back and shot it for 3D, but it's not in 3D anymore. But it's clearly shot for 3D. But
We
it's
should just-
actually
Jessica
not
Biel in it.
terrible compared
I
to
know
the
that
other
there was one with
movies.
Jessica Biel in it.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I've
not
seen that one. I
That
saw
one's
that
okay.
in theaters. That,
Yeah,
I
that
have
one's
seen that.
alright.
one.
That's not bad. It's
Yeah,
actually
but
not bad.
it's not fun because it's just sort of like middle of the road, decent.
Yeah, that came out at the time when I was like, 18, and I was like 19 with friends. I was like, yeah, it's the movie that's playing. It's fun, whatever.
Then there's
That
the
wasn't that
prequel
bad.
to that one. The prequel to that one was not good.
None of the
And then-
prequels that try to explain. Oh, is that the
But
one?
the one
that
with Jessica Biel, they go back to the cattle because they have that slaughterhouse scene, which I remember.
Yeah.
Which is
They go
Yeah.
back to that in the 3D one because the 3D one tries to be a follow-up to the first movie. It's not connected to the remakes. Like, the remake
Right.
was its own thing, and it had a prequel that was a prequel to that remake.
timeline gets really confusing.
Yeah,
Right.
not like Highlander confusing, but still.
not Fast and Furious.
Pretty weird.
confusing.
Yeah. Fast and Furious, as long as you can deal with that one timeline shift,
Well, the prequel, yeah, the
like you
Tokyo
can-
Drift. It's
like
before.
apparently, like
But he's like-
everything after that has still that takes place in the year 2030 apparently in Fast and
And
Furious.
I guess it wouldn't matter
years.
anyway because he comes back to life now. I guess the new trailers, not to get off subject, Han guy's back now. So
Well, that's because originally they were suggesting that that was a prequel to Tokyo Drift, but then they just made like 10 more movies and just like, fuck it, he's just alive.
Fuck it.
Nobody's
He's
seen
pretty
Tokyo
cool.
Drift. Tokyo Drift is like the Kelvin timeline of
Yeah.
Fast and Furious.
yeah, that kid would be good in one of these. That kid in Tokyo Drift. What's his actor's name? Kid from Sling Blade.
Lucas
But he's in a bunch
Black,
of stuff now. Yeah.
I think he
Does
is
he still
good.
talk like this? He'd be good.
Probably he did for
He
like
does.
the
No, he
first
still
30
does.
years of his life. Yeah, he's good. What was the last thing he was in?
Like Law and Order, Miami, Louisiana.
Surprising how many
one of
actually
those,
good
like,
actors have
NCIS
been in this
Louisiana.
franchise.
Yeah, that's weird though. Those are 2 Academy Award winners though. That one, because she won for the what's his face last year or 2 years ago.
And she didn't do a bad job in this. Like, she didn't get any. The writing was bad.
She's just like not made. She is a different. She's much more insular as an actor. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
She's gonna save it. Yeah, they're telling her
She's-
to act helpless and
I mean,
cry a lot, and she
and all
does.
her and her best
not
part.
gonna
She's
save the
not.
movie.
And then she's a bad. But she does very subtle things better in movies. She's much more of a. I mean,
But
it's
you
made for
imagine-
McConaughey though.
What if that McConaughey role was just some guy like the
Well,
boyfriend guy
apparently
from
he
the
didn't originally
beginning?
get this role. Like, apparently he was originally cast as some other role, and they were like, he was like, well, how's he going with
He
the
wanted to
casting? And
play
they
the
were like,
crazy guy.
we need a Velma, and he's like, the crazy guy? Oh, let me have a crack at it. And they were like, you?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, let me have a crack at it. And they just left it.
It
they just
must
went
have
like,
done
okay,
like.
go.
I mean, it worked out.
Oh,
This,
yeah.
this is next generation TNG.
Yeah, exactly. Not as dark as Texas Chainsaw Deep Space Nine, but still pretty.
Yeah, it's not
Pretty
the
dark.
same. So this is So it's just weird that they get. I guess they're. What years is 94? So this is Days Confused is 2 movies before this for him. Yeah. Episode
Is that when it
Unsolved
says it
Mystery.
came out as 94?
Yeah.
Because it said 96 as the time setting of the movie, so they did
Yeah,
a
it's
time
the
jump
future.
into
They're
the
doing-
future.
His first thing ever was an episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
That's hilarious.
And then a Trisha Yearwood video. Then a movie, and then this. So that's pretty
funny.
good. Time to Kill was 96, so he had like 5 other little things though. But I mean, that's when he got
He
super
stayed
famous.
busy.
Yeah, it's
since
so weird to
this
think about him.
rocketed him to superstar.
I always think about the actors, like, because I was thinking about like Oscar Isaac one day. It's like he feels like he's been around forever, but he's like, well, he's only been like in 6 things. You know what I mean? Like, he feels like such a, and they, like him too. Like by the time McConaughey was in Contact, you're like, yeah, it's been a lot of movies. He's like, no, that was 4 years before he was in this. You're like, okay, well,
That's funny.
McConaughey.
McConaughey.
This is
All right,
yeah.
we have to get going soon.
All right.
Well, that's it.
I think we're done.
It was
here.
good.
I mean,
Judy's what she
that was
won the
fun.
Academy Award for. So
Ah,
Reality Bites, she
Right,
did
we
exactly
saw that.
after this. She was in Dazed and Confused too, uncredited. It says.
Interesting. So there you go.
Jerry Maguire was 2 years later. So 2 years later, they both became 2 of the biggest stars in the world. After
And
this
then
movie.
she got nominated for Jerry Maguire.
Yeah, but both of those movies are huge. Time to Kill was huge too. Alrighty, well that's
Not
it.
good, but it did well.
We're good. Final words. Done. We don't need outros
Yeah.
because we'll just do bring up credits.
we just play the music.
I'm glad we were able to go on this journey together.
That was fun.